This notebook right here holds exactly the same things, same number of notebooks, same number of pages, but as you can see, one of them is much thicker than the other one. I want to compare these two. I have gotten a lot of questions about how these two compare. I did a comparison a little while ago on the Paper Republic Grand Voyageur and the pocket size against the Traveler's Notebook. I've also used the LOCHBY Mini Field Journal, so I figure a good comparison between these two is granted. Hi, I'm Luis, this planning engineer, where I break down the analog tools for intentional systems for planning and thinking clearly on paper. By day, I design bridges, so I'm a little obsessed with the details. So if that's something that interested you, come along with me as we compare these two in great detail and tell you exactly what fits in which and my verdict on why I chose the Paper Republic Grand Voyageur in the pocket size to be my everyday carry. So here's what we're comparing. This is the LOCHBY Mini Field Journal, the wax canvas. It's built tough, feels like a toolkit that you can carry and toss around and do whatever with. I used it actually for several months to take my field notes in here. I had a cool full 4 notebook system, but again, it became a little bulky. And that day I decided to, again, downsize. I carry a field notes with me in my pocket for a little while and just trying to figure out what was the best setup for me. That's when this one came to be, the Paper Republic Grand Voyageur in the pocket size. Again, this one is in olive, it's leather, it's much slimmer. It molds to the pocket and you can see it's starting to develop some really nice patina and some character along the way. These two hold exactly, again, same amount of notebooks. You can stuff these Grand Voyageur as much as you can if you don't mind in the overhang. So let's see, we have 3, 4, 5, 6 notebooks. Again, you could in theory fit these many notebooks in here. You will have some overhang, which I do not like. So I wouldn't necessarily fill it up this much, but that's something you could do. The max I put in here is actually 2 notebooks. And I like it that way because then I can fit my pen right there in the side. I can close it. Everything is kind of protected in one package. I'm looking to add some sort of pen loop on an insert that just lives in the middle and is attached. That way it's a little more protected from falling down. This pen has fallen down a couple of times out of here. Again, is a titanium bolt action pen from Big Idea Design. So it's pretty tough and that's kind of why I carry it around. But I do want to protect it just a little bit so I'm not losing it. And something like that, I think will be a great addition here in the future. The question really isn't which one of these is better made. Obviously, both of them are tough, both of them serve a unique purpose, but it's which one you will actually have on you when you need it. So I have seen a lot of videos about this tube. I have never seen exactly how much you can fill it up if you were to stuff it to the brim. So let's start with the LOCHBY here. Again, they come with 4 elastics that I'm going to use. So there's 1 notebook. There's 2 notebooks. There's 3 notebooks. There's 4 notebooks. So obviously 4 elastics, 4 notebooks, very comfortably. It closes, no issues. Again, it feels great in the hand to carry these around. It's a little bulky again for kind of an everyday carry, but it's such a great compact system if you're going to carry several notebooks. It feels tough, it feels durable, you can write on it. It does have an extra height, so you're protecting notebooks a little more. Obviously, you could possibly fit, let's say, an extra notebook back here, and that will still close. Again, it's kind of getting tight. Some of these notebooks may need to be adjusted and maybe moved around, but that's probably as much notebooks as you're gonna get. You could try fitting one in the front, but I think it's gonna get too tight. And again, if you don't care about a little squeeze, I guess you could do it. Some of the notebooks are gonna start to see some wear, which is totally fine, as well as the LOCHBY cover. But again, that's 6 notebooks. Again, that is a loaded package and something that is pretty impressive for the size. Able to carry 6 notebooks in a little package like this, it is pretty impressive. Now, let's look at the Paper Republic. Like I said, if you were going to stuff it, you could. It is going to get pretty chunky, similar to this one. So let's get these ones out of here so we can compare. And I don't have what's needed for the Paper Republic to attach all of them. Usually you'll get some jump bands. I don't. I actually just put my notebooks in the 2 available bands. So let's see what happens if I put 2 more on this side and 2 more on these sides. So that will be 6 notebooks there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I imagine these will close just fine. The beauty of leather is it will start molding to your notebooks. So you can adjust the spine, everything will kind of fit nicely. And honestly, that feels pretty nice as well. It's pretty chunky, not as chunky as the LOCHBY, just because this one again has the wax canvas, the thicker cover, but this one right here fits 6 notebooks perfectly. I should be able to adjust this to make it fit, but that is a really nice package there. I could still fit my pen in there if I get a loop. And honestly, I don't see any overhang or anything. I've never actually loaded this much because I wouldn't want to carry this many notebooks with me all at once. But if I needed to, I could definitely do it. Again, the leather is going to start to mold to the notebooks eventually, and the spine is going to fit nicer. And this feels nice and chunky. This also applies if you have a thicker notebook and you want to fit it in here. That will also be nice. But again, pretty impressive with the amount of things these covers can fit. So if we're going to get pretty nerdy here, let's kind of measure what these ones are. So this one is right about a 1/16 of an inch, about the thickness of the leather. So again, pretty slim. This one right here is going to be kind of dependent on where you're measuring it, but if you measure kind of the thicker side, probably get closer to probably 1/8 of an inch, maybe a little more than that. So it's about 2 times as thick. So definitely something to consider when you are purchasing these 2 notebooks. Definitely, again, more durable, thicker, better material in terms of like durability. Leather is going to last you forever. I have a few leather products that I own and they will surely last forever. They're still developing some really nice patina. You can see it a little shiny there as well, but you can see every mark, which I actually appreciate and makes it my own. And that's kind of the tiebreaker. The capacity it was never really the deciding factor. These 2, like I told you, can fit the same amount of notebooks and products and everything. It's really what the capacity costs in bulk. So this one being a little bulkier, this one being a little more slim and streamlined. And that's going to remind me of, again, one of the oldest documented planners in the English-speaking world was Benjamin Franklin's, and he carried just a handmade booklet in his pocket. Field Notes has gone in my pockets plenty of times, and that is basically the most compact thing I can carry. And I often do, if I don't want to carry this whole package with me, I just take my catch-all and just put it in my pocket, and it just feels pretty slim, especially now in the summer. The amount of clothes that I am wearing is not as much. I'm not wearing any jackets or anything. So having something like this is maybe a little harder to carry around. Again, the pocket carry isn't a trend. It's just the original format from the great thinkers. Again, Leonardo da Vinci and some others carry notebooks with them all the time to capture ideas, to have everything with them. And that's what I'm trying to do with mine as well. So before we get to the part that actually decided it, let me tell me in the comments how you carry yours. Do you put it in your pocket in the bag, or do you keep it at your desk? Again, there's no right or wrong answer. I just want to hear and read anything you carry with and kind of what you prefer format to carry your notebooks. So like I said, I carried 4 notebooks when I was doing the LOCHBY. Then I transferred those same 4 notebooks to the Paper Republic. And so far it has worked exactly how I intended it to be. Now, this is the honest part, and because switching cost me something real. I mean, the wax canvas is tougher. It's maybe a little more durable in the sense that if it gets wet, you just kind of wipe it away. You do have to treat your leather a little more. So I did lose, again, a slight amount of durability, but that's something I was okay losing. The LOCHBY is also the one I hand someone to that is rough with gear. It's someone I recommended if you are more outdoorsy and carry your stuff around a lot more. I typically, if I'm going to be outdoors, I almost prefer to leave this notebook behind and almost just carry a pocket notebook on its own. And if it gets wet, it's whatever. I'm not carrying that much information in there anyway. If I wanted to protect it more, I know I was going to be maybe on a trip where I was going to be outdoor more. The wax canvas of the LOCHBY is definitely the way to go. This one obviously also breaks in, gets softer. When I first got it was fairly stiff. They use some sort of cardboard material in here to, again, make the covers and make everything just feel solid. The elastics are very, very solid, nice thickness. It holds the notebook super secure. That's kind of one of my biggest complaints with these leather covers. The elastics are just a little thinner, just a little flimsier, and I wish they were a little thicker. I could probably replace them with something, even something like the LOCHBY. I think they're starting to sell some of their repair kits or DIY kits, and I could probably purchase some of those or just some other elastic to make it just a little more fix the notebooks a little better into the notebook. So that's something I do miss from the LOCHBY that I wish some of the leather notebooks had. It's just a more durable elastic that holds the notebooks just a little stronger. So again, if you leave your notebook in your bag or in your pocket or in the desk, leather is going to be a great product. If you are outdoors and maybe a little rougher with your gear, the wax canvas is going to be probably a better product, but you really cannot go wrong with either of these. I've carried my Paper Republic out in the wild. It's had some water on it. Again, that's kind of part of having a leather product and just having to take care a little bit more of it. But I've taken it places that I've taken my LOCHBY. The LOCHBY has sat in my desk. I carry in my pocket. So I've done both things with both. It's just of your level of comfort with your stationery and how much you want to use it and how comfortable you are with your leather getting maybe a little water and having to take care of it sooner than you would with the wax canvas or any dirt or anything. Again, it's just a level of comfort. So that's what I carry right now. So this is the completed setup. The two notebooks in the Paper Republic Grand Voyageur, the pocket size in olive. I have the catch-all that where I just jot down notes and any random things. These ones come in and out very often. Then I have what I call my collections notebook, where I just capture things as they happen in terms of things I would need to reference for later, kind of the bullet journal style. I like to keep a second notebook so that one stays there and don't have to be transferring information from notebook to notebook. These are fairly slim and I go through them in about 2 to 4 weeks, kind of depending on how busy or not I am. So that stays there. Again, does a beautiful job, closes nicely. I do want to find a proper loop for my pen, but it just slides so nicely in there, and hopefully you can see, again, pretty snug. There's no overhang and it fits absolutely perfect. So that's kind of what I switched. Again, I talked about in my Techukagi a few weeks ago that I kind of dropped the LOCHBY Mini Field Journal on the Grand Voyageur for the pocket and the MeePlus, which I do have right here. And you can see kind of the trend, just a little more compact, more manageable to carry with. And overall, just the leather has started to patina and feel really nice in the hands. The LOCHBY is still a great product. I still own a few other LOCHBY products that I use, like the Venture Pouch and the Pocket Journal. For other things, this one I'm still trying to find a proper use. So I'm using it because it's a fantastic product overall. So that is the whole setup. So if I were to rank these two, again, in the capacity, you can see both of them carry about the same, maybe slight edge to the leather. You could stretch another 7th or 8th notebook there if you don't mind. The overhang, the durability, I will give it to the LOCHBY. Again, the wax canvas is just slightly more durable, more versatile for different environments. It feels just rougher in the hand when you're holding it than the leather here. And it's just overall a more rugged product that I will be totally fine taking to the wild. They do sell a version with a zipper, which is, again, the Pocket Journal. They're starting to come up with different sizes in their kind of more binder style notebook covers. And again, different variety, depending on how much weather tightness you want or not. Again, for pocket carry, if you carry in the pocket, I think something like the Grand Voyageur from Paper Republic or some other leather cover that's going to mold to your pocket. It's going to be a lot more comfortable to carry. Again, it's not as stiff. You're not feeling it as much if you don't fill it up with multiple notebooks. I've carried one notebook here and it almost disappeared in the pocket. Now I have two, and again, it's still pretty slim and you can still carry it well there, but you're definitely going to feel it. It's just a little more compact and easier to carry. So let me know in the comments, will you carry the tougher one, the LOCHBY Mini Field Journal, or the thinner one, the Paper Republic Grand Voyageur? And if you've got a piece of gear you actually like, tell me what it was and what finally did it for you. Very curious in the comments to hear your responses. And as always, thank you so much for watching.